Welcome everybody, Coach BK, Brave Soul Coaching, and the Wolfpack Tri Club. And today is also brought to you by Mojo. Oh my gosh, and I've already tried to do this video twice so far. And he has been taking care of the topic that we're going to talk about, which is self-care. He was chewing on a loud chew toy, and so I had to restart. Here we go. So self-care. What are we talking about? Self-care. It kind of sounds super soft. It sounds like something not important, but wanted to kind of give you some ideas about self-care and how to incorporate it into your life so you are able to balance your energy better. So everything comes down to energy management, okay? The school of yoga that I went through, that my 500-hour blah, 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 is about energy management within your own kind of sphere, part of the breathing exercise, learn how to manage your energy a little bit better. When we're talking about half Ironman, pacing, how to manage your energy, how to put enough in, utilize what you have in order to make it through the day, in order to rock out your goals, X, Y, and Z. Energy management. So if we zoom out in life, okay, we are us, you, the person that God created, universe created. There you are. You're magical. You have energy. There's a Newton law, there's a thermodynamic law. The idea is that energy, there's a fixed amount of energy. It can't be destroyed or created. It can just be transferred. So motion kinetic energy makes heat energy, okay? The food that you eat, when you digest it, your metabolism breaks bonds, little chemical bonds in your food. When that gets broken, there's energy in there. Your body uses that to put building blocks together to do kind of systems to make energy. But understand that energy is moving around, right? So this energy management. So if buy into the fact that you have a fixed amount of energy, okay? And so let's zoom out and say you're you, and then you're also a child of God. That would be you. And then you would have who you are as a person. And then you would have that you're a spouse, a wife, a dad, a mom. You would have that you're a teacher, a worker, an engineer, and you have all these different roles. And each one has maybe different energy that it needs, or takes different amounts of energy, stress, all this stuff. So in a non-judgmental way, we need to understand that we don't have good or bad energy. We just have beliefs, we have judgments, and we have things that we give out of balance on. So sometimes we have too much stress and it causes this, and we get out of balance and we feel low on energy because we're putting too much over here. And we are not putting intentional effort into kind of, recharging, okay? We give out a lot. So I'll use myself as an example. I am a coach. I give a lot of my emotional and physical self, mental energy to other people. I give it to them, okay? When I'm on the phone with somebody and we're talking about something fairly significant, we are engaged in an energetic exchange. She's telling me feelings, I'm telling her feelings. We are having this exchange, and hopefully it's equal. Sometimes as a coach, I need to give more energy out in the way of confidence, in the way of fake it till you make it, whatever it is, and I am donating, giving some of my energy back. Okay? And this idea of self-care, we do this with our kids too. As teachers, we're giving out a lot, we give out a lot. And with this idea of energy and that it's not created or destroyed, it's just moved around. That's not just within yourself. That's within other people. That's with your kids. That's with certain situations. That's with your spouse. It's not ever like 50-50 all the time. Sometimes it's over here. Sometimes it's over there. And so if you're this person here, and you are giving some of your energy to your athletes, when they have issues or they need extra juju and extra help, and then you're working with your kids, you give them a lot of energy, you give them a lot of love, a lot of feeding them, right? This idea of self-care is how to put back into you. Okay, so what this means is a various different things. I get some of this back, this recharge back from plants. I'm very connected with the earth. So in my office, this is why I have a lot of plants in here. Okay. Yes, I take care of the plants that I'm giving to them, but they give back to me. They make me happy, and it's kind of self-care. Me taking care of my plants is a form of self-care for me. And I have plants everywhere. It's really kind of ridiculous. I think this is one of the reasons why some of us really like dogs and cats. Self-care, they give to us. When they come up and they lay down, or my boxer, Julie, she understands when I'm upset or when I'm sad, and she comes over here and she lays on me. They are giving some of their energy to you because they know you need it. Okay. Other ideas of self-care: sitting on the porch and decompressing on the swing, soaking in some of the sunshine. That is a legitimate, easy way to recharge your batteries. Sometimes it's just the act of you prioritizing yourself and sitting out in the sun and calming down and providing a space for yourself where there's not a lot of questions, and that you can just maybe read a book, journal in your journal. That is an act of self-care, but it's also an act of you recharging and kind of bringing back in more energy to replace what you have been given out. So other ideas of self-care: painting, going out with girlfriends. When you do that, that is an act of self-care. So if you have, good relationships with some of these friends, you intermingling and being a social butterfly with people, you guys are always exchanging energy. Hopefully in a friendship relationship, you guys both aren't on the rocks at the same time, because then neither one of you have energy to give to the other. However, that's usually not the case. It's usually the case that, one friend can give to the other, and then when the roles reverse, that's fine. So they're giving you some energy. And it can be via texting. And this is where opening up and talking to people is an act of self-care. Maybe a little bit of vulnerability, but, asking for some help is because you need some energy back. You need some love back. And it's an act of self-care to, go out, hang out with the chicks, even if it's just watching a movie together. Other acts of self-care, notice that a lot of these are softer, okay? Not as intense. And there's a reason for that, but I want to get to that here in a second. So some more acts of self-care, feeding your creative mind. I gotta tell you, something that I do a lot is that I clean my kitchen. I like the counters cleaned off. It's an act that helps me to feel better, more organized to a point. Okay, if I'm seriously upset and over cleaning, that is not an act of self-care. That's sort of a busy activity to keep control of the meltdown is sort of right there. It's an activity to expend nervous, angry energy in a way that I sort of like, but it's not exactly self-care. I should go and do some deep breathing to calm down my nervous system. So you got to be careful with what you're doing with some of your habits on when you get upset and you need some self-care if you take it over the top. Okay, how efficient and effective it is for helping you to kind of recharge real quick. So self-care, ideally things that are softer, more yin, more cool, more calming, getting your nails done, getting a massage, things that feel good. So it is legitimate that our running, our exercising, our doing these things, our working on goals, our putting ourselves out there outside of our comfort zone is actually an act of self-care. It's part of something that we're doing to make ourselves feel good about ourselves. But everybody is going to acknowledge that you can exercise too much. If you are trying to prove to somebody that you can do it, like you are good enough because you can run a half marathon, or you are an athlete now still because you can make it under a certain time on your half Ironman, or you can qualify for Boston, you're a legitimate athlete, you're good enough. We want to make sure that our athletic activities, if we think that they are kind of a self-care idea, that we aren't actually kind of feeding an insecurity or a self-esteem issue. But so we need to acknowledge that our exercise is an act of self-care to a point. Okay, it's you time. And so sometimes that's why we get kind of sideways when it's not going great. It doesn't feel good. Then we get really kind of flustered about that because we want this to be an act of self-care, but we don't quite enjoy it because, say, life has gained us stress or whatever, 20 pounds. And so the running doesn't feel all that great anymore. Then it kind of has a double-edged sword, something that you wanted to do self-care, but it doesn't feel good anymore because life made me fat and now my foot hurts because life made me fat, and I am saying this all on the thoughts that have been in my head here very recently, say like last week. So the self-care idea, it's critical. And it's critical to understand that the more you exercise, let's say that we're just working on our goal. Self-care, not self-care, we're not even talking about that anymore. We're working on our goal. You need to understand that just like fueling, just like everything else needs to be in balance. This energy management idea, okay? If you're going to give to that swim, bike, run, you need to figure out how to make the body feel good, how to do some self-care along with it. Massage, not the sports massage that you're trying to fix the body with, not that one, the feel good massage. It's really critical to help the body to manage and be okay with all of this stuff. Having your rest days, taking your rest days as rest days. Okay, not I'm in jail days, but really resting, doing something fun, getting out and walking in the sun or reading a book on the swing. We are really good at thinking that kind of slowing down and doing these very low-key things is wasted time, and it's really not. It's an investment, recharging, and you're going to be so much better for that recharge afterward than if you had just continued to push through. Eventually the battery's going to run out and it's not going to be rechargeable, and you're going to have to get a new battery, aka like take a lot of time off. So this idea of self-care, very critical. You need to fit it in, put it into rest days, help yourself to buffer, balance out the stress that is either in your life that you have to deal with or that you're putting on yourself. And I think that this is one of the keys of, not developing some bad habits, say over exercising, drinking. Drinking is a big one of kind of inappropriate self-care that we do because we aren't doing the other more beneficial, constructive methods of self-care, right? Journaling, praying, learning how to calm ourselves down, taking some time to get real clear on why we're doing certain things and working on root cause issues so that doesn't kind of come up on why we don't participate in self-care or why we feel like we need to push all the time. Okay, so entertain the idea of lots of different things to do with self-care. Coloring in a coloring book, journaling on your iPad. Another form of self-care that I do is I tinker and I put stickers in my planner, and it's my life planner and my training Ironman planner. I put stickers in there. It's an act of self-care. I like it. It makes me feel good. Okay? So challenge yourself. What can you do? What little things can you instill in your day every day to give yourself self-care? Is it simply buying a sticky that you like? Go to Office Max and buy some stickies. Buy some stickies and tell yourself you are awesome. And make sure that you put the heart on there. See, right? Here we go, right? And then put that sticky up somewhere in your bathroom, okay? That's an act of self-care. And a really good one. You're intentionally writing to yourself, you're badass, you're awesome, I love you. Ultimate act of self-care, right? Listening to good music. Sometimes mowing the yard is an act of self-care. I put my headphones in. I like being outside. I'm an engineer, so I like the straight lines of mowing the yard. Weird, sounds crazy, but I'm like, the boys aren't going to want to earn money with mowing the yard. Boom, I saved money and did an act of self-care, and I got a little bit of exercise. Triple whammy. So be thinking about what you can do daily to incorporate more acts of self-care into your day, into your journal. Write 3 things you're grateful for every day, or write 3 things that you find delicious about yourself. If you want to kick it up a notch, have you and your partner or your kids tell each other every day, hey, I like this that you did this today, and they say something back to you. Another act of self-care. There's these little things that you can do every day to add just a smidge, okay? And don't be deceived to think that your 8-hour stressful job needs 8 hours of self-care in order to balance it out. There's a cool thing about love and about creativity and about you is that it's magic. Self-care is magic. So 2 or 3 minutes of self-care, something that you really like, could completely medicate 8 hours of stress. Now, body-wise, maybe not. I mean, if you're eating right, yes, and stuff like that. So keep in mind, what can you do during the day to incorporate some self-care? Okay? Hope you're having a great day. Namaste. Welcome, everybody. Coach BK, founder of Brave Soul Coaching and Wolfpack Tri Club. Wanted to invite you to some more of our videos. If you want to watch a previous video, click over there and make sure to subscribe to our channel. We do just a ton of amazing, awesome stuff, and so you're not going to want to miss out on that. If you're interested in coaching, either nutrition, strength training, triathlon, running, life coaching as well, be sure to check out our website, wolfpacktriclub.com, and have an epic day.